Oh goodness.
Live on the internet forever.
Forgot we were going to do that. I will say React's pretty troublesome. I found it very troublesome going through really until the individual projects. Not that I, felt like I really knew what I was doing with it, but it is kind of a repetition thing. You start to draw enough lines from start to finish and it starts to make sense, but you do have to be able to draw a line from start to finish. I think that's the main, bit of it. Let me share this screen here. I think I'm on the right one. Yeah. So, all right. Everyone can see my news site part 2, right?
Yep.
Awesome. So we'll just walk through this. I'm going to treat it as if I didn't do news site part 1 because I did do news site part 1, but it's kind of messy. I was experimenting with a lot of stuff. So we're going to start fresh. If anyone doesn't want to start fresh, that's cool. If you do, you can just follow along with me and we'll answer questions as they come up. I might even have some of my own. All right, cool. So new site part 2. Basically, we're going to be adding a new component, 2 new pages to what you should have already done so far. So I'm going to clone it down and then build within a folder within the clone. It's not the cleanest way to do it, but it'll help us kind of manage it, and we can just, throw out what we don't want. So here within news site, I will, actually, what's a smarter way to do this? No, we'll just do it in here.
Hey, Jordan,
Yes.
if you do plan on pushing this up, are you able to make a separate branch?
Good call.
Or you can fork it to your personal one and clone it down. Depends on what you want to do.
Oopsies. All right. What in the heck?
That needs to be 2 lowercase i's instead of the capital I's.
Ah. I'm gonna fix that in the README, huh?
Nope.
All right, as that's going, all we're going to be doing is kind of copying over your work. So anything you've got from components, data, or pages, unsure what all you guys will have at this point, but we'll just copy all those over and slap them in the new source folder that is now built. As soon as that's done. Yep, and we'll keep rolling with the app.js, but again, I'm starting fresh, so don't worry about that. We will, at the end of this, be getting into React Strap, which will probably be done on your own. I'm not real good at that, but we'll at least get the installs done, so we're able to move to that. Cool. So as I said, we're just going to be taking this source folder from the repo. And pretty much moving all that stuff. I want all that. Yeah, it's the fastest way I can think to do this. Is that the right one? Yeah. I should probably be using this tree. I'm sorry. All right, cool. It's all moved over. We got an empty source folder. It looks like it's all in there. Yeah, we got it done. Okay, awesome. I don't love these trees, but I'll use them because we all use them. All right. As I said, we'll install React Bootstrap. You can do one or the other. I think this is a third-party wrapping kind of library for these, but you're not going to run into too many differences. So I don't really care which one you use. As it's getting installed, we'll go ahead and import this in our source/index.js. All right. So as we'll just kind of read along and walk with it. At the moment, the A links in our article teaser are appended with a pound sign. What that's doing is basically just making our article teaser pages, I guess, or sorry, not pages, links look like actual real URL links. Is that right? Oh, I need to run npm install, don't I? Oh, goodness. Tom, why is it not running?
Got to go up
You
a
need
or
to
go.
CD.
Yeah.
You need to CD into news site too.
Oh, I'm too high. Okay.
You might get an issue now because you have a package.json and node modules in that directory.
Cool. That should open one up for me, shouldn't it? Oh, I've got one running already. Hold on.
Yep.
Okay. So if you've started fresh, yours should look something like mine once that gets going. Did I mess it up? Oh, goodness. Okay, let's go check this out. Source index doesn't like that.
Where do we put that?
I put it here. Is this not where I'm supposed to put this?
Let's go to the documentation. So let's go to like reactstrap.com or what, like Google React Strap. They might have a new route. React Strap.
Which one? Probably this, huh?
Yeah, let's check it out. Or is it React Bootstrap? That's what it is. It's React Bootstrap. Go to reactbootstrap.com or whatever. Google React-Bootstrap. That one. Let's see what it says. Getting started. That's what you install, the React Bootstrap?
Yeah, that's.
Install React. So scroll down.
There's a.
Keep going. There it is. Is that the same one? The import bootstrap dist? Yes.
Oh no. They're the same. Did
go to
I
your-
not?
Let's go to your package.json file. Do we have multiple?
Do you install it in up a level?
Yeah, that's
Ye-
yeah.
Yep, I probably did, didn't I? Because
Yep.
I was installing at the wrong level. All right, there we go. I love JavaScript. All right, off to a good start. Great.
There we go.
Not great. Should I not be
Did you move over your app.js file?
No, I did not. I deleted that because I
Uh-oh.
thought it was oh my goodness. I am so sorry, y'all. I'll fix this.
What was that command?
Don't worry about that. Don't use that. We're gonna do this a dirty way. Sorry, I got a bad habit opening Vim in another IDE's terminal, which is really stupid. Oh my goodness. All right, third time's a charm. Here we are. All right, so yours all should look something like this. This is what it looked like last time I ran this. Nothing's really working at this point. Nothing's hooked up, but it looks pretty good. I believe we're pulling in a random article each time. So as you refresh, you'll see them kind of come in, and that's good. That looks right. Continuing on. All right, so in article teaser, we were talking about these pound signs. Let's go take a look at that just so we're on the same page. Components, article teasers, there it is. Actually, it was saying the anchor tag. Mine doesn't have a pound sign.
You're missing an href.
Yeah.
Do I need to add
Href
it?
equals pound. Yeah,
Yeah,
right
oh,
after the
okay.
a tag. After the a tag, not inside the unclick.
Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. Yeah, so that should be done. All right, cool. So we're going to modify the on-click event handler to alleviate this by changing the on-click to this. What this is going to be doing each time. Let's see here. I did save that, didn't I? So I'm going to give you a whiplash going back and forth. I think what it's worried about is with that pound sign there in the href, it'll just be refreshing the React app each time, and we don't really want to do that. So by putting in this event.prevent default, does anyone know what this does?
Prevents the default behavior of the page when it changes, which is to reload.
Right. Yeah. So that's all we're going to try and get it to quit doing. Where is this handle click coming from? Okay. So this handle click is coming in through whatever calls article teaser, and I don't remember off the top of my head, so we'll chase that down. Oh, it's here on the app.js. Where is it? Is this the one I should be editing? I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's that handle title click on line 45.
Yeah,
That is
all right.
being passed in as props, so it's just an anonymous takes in the ID and just console logs the ID.
Gotcha. So we'll do that. Try to clean this up in a way that makes sense.
I think that should go into the article teaser, that on click.
Oh, all this, I see. Oh, right. Cool. So to separate this out so it makes it a little bit cleaner, I like to do this. And that's missing something. Oh goodness.
Should take in the event and then And then switch the handle title click and the event prevent default. Switch those locations.
I had a problem with this one. I was doing it the last time. Such a pain to organize these. Hold on. That's not needed.
On line 16 at the very end, after that fed arrow, there should be an open bracket.
And this.
Then on line 19, there should be another closing bracket.
Okay. Yuck. All right. That's not very pretty. I think at this point we could pull that out, make all that yellow go away. Cool. Or maybe not. We'll leave it in there for now. Okay, so to the article list, we have a new component today. It'll be stepped out, the article list component. Instead of just showing a random article, we're just going to get all of them and use the article teasers to kind of do the display for each of those. We're just going to handle the props that are being passed and use them in article list to kind of map out something a little bit cleaner than what we've got currently. So for article list, which and app.js is being created. Wait, hold on a sec. No, we got to create article list. It'll take articles and handle title click. So we've already got articles built up here. We will be passing them in here to article list. Oh goodness, this is in class, isn't it? Oh no.
Feel free to convert it over to a function if you'd like.
Yeah, let me just remind myself how to do that.
If y'all want to help them out, you all can do that as well.
Oh no, I killed too many.
You have to use use save instead of this dot state.
And that nested return is giving you an issue too, I think.
Mm.
So you gotta import use state at the top from React. And then
Your use state has 2 T's on line 15.
So,
Goodness gracious.
so on line 16. Get rid, or on line 15, get rid of, just get rid of all entirely line 15. Get rid of line 24. And then on line 14, do const. And then in an array, do nav items, comma, set nav items. And then have that equals use state. Open bracket or and then nav items. But actually on line 14, that first nav items, let's call it nav items list. Or I'm sorry. That the second nav items, call it nav items list. The second one. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. You're talking about
That within the use state. Within that use state function, call it nav items list. We have to call it a different one because we can't invoke.
I see.
And then all the way up where you're importing nav items, call it nav items list because that's what we're importing. And then essentially do the same thing on line 15, but so const on line 15, but call it article in place of, and then set article. And then in place of nav items list, copy that article object that's between line 17. So yeah, just the object, not the actual key. Yep. And place that with inside of that second use state in place of that. Awesome. And then you can get rid of line 27. Let's see. Is everything working? Yeah, you have an extra. There you go. All right, yeah.
All right, all cleaned up. Goodness. Cool. So let's create the article list component. As we do this, we'll pass in articles. We'll pass in the handle title click function. We won't do anything with that function just yet, but we'll get it in there. Am I doing that wrong? Hold on. Oh, why does it hate that?
You don't need the equal sign, equal, you don't need the articles equal sign. And it would be just article. Are you, what's the goal here? Passing in.
Setting props of articles and passing in the articles object.
So
That we
all
built.
the articles. So
I would just
right now, that's
so-
the individual article.
Oh, so that's just one article. Okay.
I guess we don't even need to pass in. What does the instruction say?
So we're going to create a article list component that will receive an array of articles. So I'd like to create that component that takes in all the articles. I guess I don't need to.
Yeah, I guess we
Yeah.
can. Is that article list
I think
element?
this is a component. Is this a component that's already built? Oh, goodness gracious, it's already here.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was trying to put it in the wrong spot. So
So no, I think we have it right because we didn't create the article list component like we haven't. So that's the article list component right there. We're just
Right.
invoking it on app.js. Are we importing all the articles in app.js?
no, we're not. So that would be the data / news, which I guess is what it actually wanted.
Okay.
Um,
So we can pass that news into in.
Yeah, so I can pull this in, call it news, and then pass it to a list. But I feel like
Is that-
maybe I can do that because it's already component. There's already a component for it, so I feel like I should just build it out here.
Well,
Um,
let's go to app.js real quick. I want to make sure we're not importing news inside of there because I think we are we?
Oh, we are. It's right here.
So yeah, we can just literally pass that in as a prop in that. News equals news or something. I don't know.
Yeah, let's do articles,
There we go.
and then handle title click. No, handle title click. Which we'll create a function for that, I guess. And oh my goodness, what is this? For now, we'll just say click. Great. Oh no, that's mad now. This is not fine. Oh, I haven't pulled it in yet. There we go. Now we're pulling in an article list. We're passing it these props, so it should have access to everything as the instructions are asking us to. Cool. The article list component will receive the articles, which again is that news that we brought in. What we like to do is map a new array using all of these articles and give each of them that handle title click function. Let's see. Article teaser then will be taking everything. Sorry, we'll be taking each one of these articles. It's interested in these three, but let's see. We'll get into that. So now that we've passed its props, we're going to be calling it. Let's go check it out. Which it is here. Cool. So I'll go ahead and convert this to functional as well. Oh wait, that I'm losing my mind, y'all. I'm so sorry. There we go. Okay, so as before, this article list is going to be receiving the props, which is the list of the articles as well as the handle click method that's not doing anything just yet. For each of these, we want to map out an article teaser with the data that it wants and the function. So we'll kind of start working that, I guess. I would like to render an article list. And I think the way I like to do this is create a variable and we'll return the variable. The variable will be a map. So we'll take all the props and articles from them. Let's see. Oh. I think that's valid JavaScript or JavaScript. Okay. Cool. So for each of these, we want to create or rather not create, but we want to, call the article teaser component. So that, as before, we care about the ID, the title, the created date. And it does talk about the spread operator. So we'll do it this way first, and then we'll talk about the spread operator. So ID, as we do look at our data, which is kind of important before we get too much further into this, we're pulling in multiple articles, which has a number of keys and values. One thing you'll notice on here is it does not have an ID, and we do need the ID. So what we can do instead is create our own ID, because these seem to go in order. It doesn't seem like it really matters. The IDs just need to be unique. We don't have to do anything other than that. So we can just index them, as I was kind of alluding to. So for the ID, I'll just do the index +1, and that should keep them unique and should keep them iterating. Hold on, blind. All right. We also need the title, which is going to be article.title. It did ask for the created date, which again will be article.created date. And that handle click that we were talking about, which I think, yeah, we'll call it handle click here. But from props, it was handle title click, as I remember. Yeah. Okay. There we go. That's what I deleted. So this is how we can I guess, oh wait, probably need to return this. This is how we can create a map of these items that we, I guess, are passing, or sorry, this is how we can hand article teaser all these different things. The other way, as we kind of alluded to earlier, is the spread operator. And it kind of would just come down to how we want to handle it. We can break it out here, or we can break it out in article teaser. It really comes down to preference on that. But basically, instead of doing, having create a date, title, and ID, we could have done just this instead, and given it, comment these out. Sorry. Yeah, as well as the ID. So article teaser would have access to basically everything that comes with article, and then it would be up to article teaser to kind of pick out, pick and choose what it wants. It's your preference where you want to do it. I just want you to see that it can be done this way. If you end up having to pass the same props across multiple components, it gets a lot more dry to just pass use the spread operator, so you don't have to type out a bunch of stuff that you're going to be specifying again. So until you kind of break it down at a final point where you're not going to be needing all the data anymore, spread operators are kind of nice, but we'll abstain for here. Great. Yep, so we created this function to map out all of these things. Let's just go ahead and invoke the function down here and see if it shows up as we'd like it to. I would expect it to. Hold on a second. There we go. Forgot to invoke it. So we're doing what we like now. The article teaser is receiving all of these props. Sorry. The ID, the title, created date, and handle click, and should be displaying them. Let's see. Oh no, I guess this is everything. Okay, cool. And links aren't really working or anything, but that's fine. I think we should be seeing that console.log. Uh-oh. Handle title click is not a function. What did I mess up? I would expect that to be, oh, well, actually, it is going to be props. Oh no, it's deconstructed above. Does anyone see what I've done wrong?
In the class, you use this type props.
Say again?
That one is a class method. You have to use this, huh?
Oh, I may need to. Yeah, let's
This
convert.
dot props dot handle title click.
Oh, goodness.
Well, you're just
Right.
structuring it on line 9.
Yeah, so we are we're deconstructing or deconstructing it here, so that should cut that out. Basically, what that's saying is any further, usage of, sorry,
Sure.
these variables, you won't. This is kind of assumed. But yeah, let's
An article list. Let's go up to article list and look at what's being passed in there. It's called handle click on line 11.
goodness. Yeah, that'll get you. Cool. All right. Well, we are seeing my click now that we originally put in there, so that's good. Probably go ahead and convert this really fast. Maybe. There we can probably. Cool. Thank you. All right, back in business. Same. All right, so looks like all of this is working. We talked about sprite operators. We're getting everything to the page we'd like to see. And now we'll talk about the React router, because we do eventually want these to go somewhere. And they look like links, so they should act like links. So we'll use the router. I think you guys have used this a little bit before, so I'm not gonna talk too much about the router, I guess, but I will install it and we'll import it and update our app.js just a little bit. So that. as that's going, we'll import it in our app.js. And update everything. I'll have to make some change to make it functional, but that's okay. I don't know how to shift everything back over nicely. Is it this? Oh, there we go. Cool. Okay, so that's all handled. We're talking about wrapping our routes in the router. This is gonna basically give us paths for looking, for exact URLs. So kind of, when you're familiar with Django, I believe you can go to, you're building something to serve the exact URL. So we're going to be building out the URL path we want to see exactly, and then telling it what to do from there. It makes it a little bit kind of easier to track. And you basically got a layout of all of your different endpoints, which is kind of handy. So we'll do that. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we're no longer using the article teaser and article components in our app.js. So let's remove those. Actually, we're not using any of that, are we? All gone. And we don't really need to be setting article here anymore. So I'm pretty sure we can get rid of this as well. We'll be building this out elsewhere, I think. Let me double check. Yep. Cool. And we're not going to do that anymore either. I'll comment it out though, because I don't remember. Cool. So we're talking about seeing errors here. We need to bring in home page and article page, which easy peasy, we know to do that. We'll just import it like we would any other component. You can kind of think of it like components, but they're just in a folder called pages. Sorry. Home page. And if that's done right, we shouldn't have any errors. And oh, look at that. And ideally, nothing would have. Where's this not identified at? Source app.js. Homepage is not defined. Oh, I didn't do it right. Oh, goodness. Thanks for the help, VS Code. Cool. All right. Now it works. Nothing should have changed from this front. Instructions do next have us go and look at see if our router is working. So we should be able to go to articles, /1. Because using our router, we have specified a path for articles, and then like you may have seen in Django, you can set this is how you set a parameter. Anywhere else using, I think this comes in with router 6 or version 6, calling article ID anywhere on the page where when we do invoke it, I think we have to use the navigation function. We can refer to the parameter of the URL with this, which is handy if it works properly. Cool. That works. And the reason we're just seeing that article page is because that's all that's there on the page that we brought over. Article page is just returning a div that says article page. So good. Moving along. All right, as mentioned above, homepage is largely complete. It's pretty much doing everything we need it to. But we're going to add a little bit of functionality. I think we're going to pull the handle title click over to here. We had it identified in the app.js, but I'd rather get it moved. I don't know if y'all can hear those dogs howling. I apologize. So over in app.js, we have this not really useful handle title click. We lost it. There we go. Stay open, please. Paste this, go ahead and convert to functional. Oh my goodness. Looks good, not broken. Just a second. Okay. Great. So the functionality we're going to bring in is with handle title click. This function should trigger a page change, which there's a few different ways to do that. We're going to try to utilize kind of modern version 6 React router to get this done. I think it mentions it a little bit further down. Oh, it's not on this one.
If you want to do a hard refresh.
Heyo. Cool. We're going to be getting there using this because I like this a lot better. And I believe this is just brought in with the kind of newest React router. So I like that. So handle title click was not doing anything, but it soon will. As a reminder, following this where it's going, handle title click is going to be created here. We're passing it to the article list. And then that is going to be passed to article teaser. And article teaser is actually going to ideally, yep, here it is, plugging in an ID. So if you're curious where ID is coming from, it's actually article teaser, passed back through article list, passed back through homepage.
Question.
Yes.
If you're passing it in right there on homepage article list, if you're passing it in as handle title click, should it be called handle title click on your teaser?
So
Because you're only passing it in as a handle click in both the destructured and the return.
Yeah, it really comes down to kind of what makes sense to you and what is easier to remember. When I had kind of walked through this, I made them all 3 different names so that you could see the handover, but truly and honestly, probably not a good idea. I think they should all be the same name. I think that way you're not going to get them kind of mixed up and confused as I have. The reason I would argue to kind of have specific names for where they're established is, I guess you can see the handoff between each one, but I also think that's kind of confusing. So let's just call it handle click. That way we'll just be able to kind of trace it back.
You need to change it then in your props.
Yes. So
My only question there is it being a little bit more explicit. If you're thinking hypothetically, if you have, say your article teaser list has more than one element that you can manipulate via clicking and interact with, at that point, you would have to trace back through a lot to figure out which one is actually the click responsible.
right. And if you're talking about like, so we're gonna have one handle click for one, thing. If I guess one bit of text. If we had different clicks across the page, I guess that for some reason we're in the same element, we would probably name them different things for that. But given this is the only thing that's doing anything when it gets clicked for that entire, pretty much from the handoff, from the data all the way to the teaser. Yeah, I do think handle click is probably the best way to name this.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I agree. I just, yeah, and it comes down to, it kind of comes down to preference and what's easier for you to track down. When I had originally done it, I had called this one like the handle lists click. And then for the next one, it was the handle article click because it was kind of an article. And at the very end, it was just the handle click because it was just specific to that. And that was just for me, because I would see handle click in the errors and be like, oh gosh, that's everywhere. I mean, you can always read like where the line's coming from, but if it's traced back, it can be kind of a pain. So that's why I don't like to see the same variable replicated throughout code. But again, it adds complexity for the sake of troubleshooting, and it's kind of what you prefer. I don't know what the convention would be for that. For something that's passed through this many different ways, I'd leave that to Tom. But I agree with this. I think this is probably smarter for this application. So we'll keep. Okay.
Just in the real world, when you're dealing with React applications, you won't be passing down functions in props like this many times. There'll be a central location of a single function that you just directly inject into a component, so you won't have to really worry about naming things a bunch of different times.
Yeah, and that's kind of it gets hard to kind of talk through some of the applications for this because some of the things we're doing are kind of just to more display how things get from one place to another. When yeah, as Tom kind of said, like varsity level React, you're going to be using stuff like custom hooks and things like that you're only going to see built in one place, and they're only going to be used where they're used, and not handed off and off and off and off down the range. So anyhow, actually, how long do we need how long have we been going? It's been about an hour. Do we take breaks in the middle of these? What's y'all's thing?
Yeah, let's take a break.
All right, let's take a break. We'll be back in 5 or 10, whatever you guys normally do.
Back at 6:42.
So while y'all were gone, I thought it would be easier to organize. I only opened up the folders we'll be working out of, which I don't know if that's good advice or not, but you can just pass in like code and just the specific folders and whatnot you're working out of, which is kind of nice in React and some larger frameworks where you get a ton of stuff you're not going to be opening. I don't know if there's a way to hide things over here, but this works too. So if your tree doesn't look like my tree, don't worry about it. I've just got the pages I plan to be working out of available, I think, in this app.js today. Yeah, it should all be here. Cool. So let's go back. Where we left off, we were building out the function for handle click that was going to be passed all the way down to the article teaser. So here we have it saying clicked, but I think it'd be a little bit more useful to see what we're actually clicking on. And as mentioned before, this is going to be passed all the way back to the article teaser, which is going to be giving it, invoking it with this ID. So if everything works, article teaser to article list to homepage, this handle click should have access to that ID. So we're just going to put it here and hopefully see that ID. I think we should. So do something like that, and then ID, and let's call this ID. Oh, this has got extra work. So this was console logging for us to do this. We're actually not going to quite do that. Instead, we'll just pass handle click. I think this works. Let's see. Go back to the main page. Open up our developer tools, and we're not getting it. No, I'm not seeing it there. Okay, let's figure out why. Maybe I should. Why wouldn't I be seeing that?
Because your handle click takes in an ID, and so you should do an anonymous function there, just on line 14. Just do it.
Oh, you're saying build it in? I would expect to be able to see it here, because we're going to need the ID one way or another. But we can plug it in directly, I suppose. I forget what anonymous functions look like because I just deleted the one I was going to use.
Just just like that, but instead of ID, instead of the console log right there, you do the handle click and pass in the ID.
I should put my Vim buttons back on. Okay. Like,
and then pass in the ID. Whoop. Nope. No, because you already had.
Okay. Oh wait.
So after the handle click, just do open brackets, or I'm sorry, yeah, that should work.
Okay. So let's see if that's getting in here now. Still
No.
not seeing it. Interesting. Oh, handle click is on a function.
Where's that coming from? Article teaser.
I'm not invoking it right. Oh, well, now it's being deconstructed. So
where's that coming from? The article list. So let's go to the article list page. It's because it trumps the handle.
Came back to bite me.
Yep.
There it is. All right, cool. Well, if that's what it would, I mean, what's the preference? Is it? I guess anonymous function is fine. However, I think it would. Let me just, for argument's sake.
Since you have to pass in a parameter, an argument into that, it doesn't know what ID is right now.
It let me double check, because I thought it wouldn't either. Ah, see there? It
Oh,
doesn't seem like it would, but it does. Because it, like, you would expect it to here, but it's smart
Oh.
enough for regular.
yeah, it's because you're passing it down. You're right.
Right, 'cause yeah, because it's not being invoked here, it's being invoked two down, but yeah, when I had fiddled with this earlier, I was like, how the heck is it getting ID? And you know, you backtrack through it.
Yeah.
And
So I stand
so
corrected.
either way, yeah, it surprised me too when I saw it. But it does make, and honestly, whatever y'all want to do, you know, anonymous function's fine, this is fine. I like this better truly, because like we just found out, this is kind of confusing. But it does work. If however your brain likes it, or however your team likes it, don't be the person who makes weird functions. Cool. So what we would like to do is for this to actually navigate. So we're going to use the use navigate hook from the React router, and it looks pretty clean when it's all done. So that's what we're going to use. How do I have this set up? I think and we'll, okay, so that's already there. Cool. So for this, why myself how I do things. We're just going to return this. Sorry, this navigate function. And we're going to go to the exact article by interpolating in that ID. So now when we click on these, ideally, it should navigate. Pretty sure I hit save. Oh, how about that? So blank page, but that's cool. We do see that it's actually going to the URL that we want it to. That is the preferred behavior. So let's build something to see when we get there. So that's done. Article page. Oh, what's that?
I was gonna ask if you should add a key in order to remove that warning.
Yeah, let's get rid of those. I've been lazy about it. So for each of these, I think all we have to do is put
Key
in,
equals index or
yeah, index is good. You know, like warnings all over your web page. All right, where else is this at?
not really.
Yeah, me neither. Oh, I'm gonna have to track it. It's gonna open a whole new thing. Okay. Oh, is this a map? This is a map. Okay. Yeah, we'll do the same thing here. Wait, what comes into here? What are these nav items? Well, we'll just make it label, I think. That's probably unique. Sweet, no red. All right, great. To the article page component. The article page component should obviously render the article. Which I don't think I opened up. And provide necessary props to the child component. Article accepts a variety of props from a single object, data news.json. What is this telling me actually? React Router provides us with access to the URL params. Okay, so what this is saying is using the parameters in the URL, React Router will let us actually reference this parameter, which can be really helpful. I mean, because there's a few different ways to kind of pass information along. You can send things through props. You can send things through, I guess, I lost my train of thought. HTTP requests, you can package like things in the body. Or a really cheap, easy method for doing things sometimes is just referencing a parameter. So that's what we're going to do. So within the article page component, let's see. We're going to be pulling the article, I guess, based off of the article ID. We're getting the article ID from the URL. Let's go to the article component, which I neglected to open up with all of these. Cool. Here. Sorry, I'm trying to use my cheater thing over here. All right, go ahead and convert this to, I guess. Oh, not that one. Shift tab. I feel like these instructions were different than the ones I read. I'm sorry, guys. I'm having to remind myself what this next step is. You want to target within the articles array. So we're going to write the code necessary to find the news article and pass it into the article component and render it on the screen.
So yeah, we're going to be extracting the ID from the URL in the article page, and then essentially also import the news JSON file directly into this and just access
Gotcha.
the index of that news.
Gotcha. Okay. I also was confusing myself because I was thinking article component and not article page. So this makes more sense. Okay. Redo this thing again. That looks good. Well, that looks better. Okay, cool. So a way to do this, we'll need to import the React router DOM. I don't think we need any of this. Should be a pretty light page. So this is how we'll grab the parameter. Let me type this out and then remind you on app.js where this variable comes from. Here we are. So recall in the route, we had built a path, articles / whatever the heck comes after articles before the next. And honestly, I think for this route, it doesn't even care if it finds another / whatever it sees, it's going to be saying that's article ID. So we're going to say article ID is equal to, we're going to pull it out of the parameters rather. If you, I might be buying myself into some pain here, but I kind of am curious as to what this looks like, just to see. Do you think this is going to do what I think it'll do, Tom?
What is use params?
That comes from React Router
So-
DOM. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. So I haven't read it, but I'm going to go ahead and take a guess. It is going to be a React hook that is going to allow you to pull in the parameters from the URL. This is already running somewhere, isn't it? Or is it? Did I break something? Do I have too many of these running? Oh, I'm so sorry. I have to kill some of these. I thought it was going to close my current window. No. Get out of here. I haven't used VS Code since 2019.
So yeah, so with regards to React Router DOM version 6 is keeping in line with React's updates. So as React has navigated away from class-based components and towards functional-based components, those functional-based components utilize use hooks like the use state and use effect. Well, React Router DOM is also doing that as well. It's using a bunch of hooks to interact with the web page, such as the parameters from the URL, from like history, so you can go back and forth. And kind of it's a lot easier than version 5. So it's
So just to summarize, that use params is allowing you to pull the parameters from the URL.
Yep, it returns a key value pair of the different parameters from the URL.
Okay.
I would really like to blow this out because I believe I can't think of a good way to show this data object that it's trying to create, but I would like to, you could prove it. If I just kept typing in things into the URL with slashes, I believe this is going to return in some way. Well, rather, it's going to return anything in the URL. However, all this is doing is kind of deconstructing, I think, article ID from the list of key value pairs that this probably returns. Easier not to dig into it, but sometimes it can be nice to kind of see what these functions are doing. This one doesn't look like it plays friendly. Cool. So let's blow this up just a little bit. All we want to do now is pull in an article based off of, well, actually, we're not even going to pull in an article. We're just going to prove that we can get the article. So by doing this, oh, don't destroy all that. We should now be looking at the parameters. Whatever comes in where article ID is set is going to be put into this div here. And I probably need to wrap this one up. Oh, stop being helpful. Cool. So we should be seeing this written to the page, and oh, there it is. So we go to any of these articles 17, and it's saying, and hey, there's 17 right there. That's cool and all, but this gives us a lot of usage because now whatever page has access to the parameters could technically reach out and make calls to either a database or your data object. All you really need to know, you've got this ID here, and you can run with that and go do whatever you'd like. This article page here, if it wanted to, could populate all this data on its own. All it needs to do is bring in news and use this as the index +1, and you'd be pulling in the correct article in all of its data each time. And that's preferable sometimes if you ever find yourself getting really confused with props and you don't, necessarily like saying, okay, well, send my article here and then take some of it out and send the article here and then don't forget this and send the article here. And you a lot of times can get away with just building out a route, sending you to that route, and at that time making the call towards your back end. It's not always the fastest way to do things, but it is a way to, definitely do stuff. And if you're not making calls to a back end, using parameters and, populating the data at the time that the page is loaded, or rather when the virtual DOM gives you a new page, can be really handy, get you out of a lot of headaches. So I think that's a pretty powerful tool kind of early on web dev, especially when you're doing your projects and such, and props start whooping your butt. Anyhow, what's this? Oh, we do need to add all these things. So let's go ahead and render all this stuff out. Write the code necessary to find the news article and pass it into the article component and render it out on the screen. The article page should render the article's title, created date, byline, image, and abstract. So how do we want to get this into here? I've kind of talked about using the params. How would article have those already? I guess we can kind of do what I had mentioned. So let's just render out the article, I guess. Remind myself how things are imported. So we'll pull in the article component. Why is it doing this to me? And I guess we'll just call it the ID, the article ID. Am I losing my mind? Why is that not okay? Is it because I'm supposed to wrap things up? Oh, yes. Yeah.
So I think it wants you
There
to
you go.
pass in, because the article component takes in props like which is the title and all of that information
Yes.
as props. So in here, I believe you're supposed to extract the article from that JSON file. So in here, I think you're supposed to import the news from the JSON and then just grab it by its the article ID.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I was kind of going the opposite direction with that. So let's pull in the news then. Homepage does it. We can do it too. We have an article ID here, so we can say that the article is going to be, how do we want to do this? So news is going to be a list of articles. So we can probably just say it's news article ID +1. No, that's right. Is that right? No, it's going to have to be -1, right? Because we've already added. We think about that. Yeah.
Well, if it goes to /1, that'd grab the article at the second index, which would be
Yeah.
index 1. So I think you're right, -1 or something.
Yeah. So yeah, because the list is rendering them out and the URL is adding a +1 to it. Which yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we do need a -1, I think.
You can always test it out too.
Yeah, we can always test it. Let's just do that actually. Let's just console log the article and see if we're even getting it. Never a bad idea. Unless I broke something. Source can't resolve components article. So what am I doing? Is that
I
what
think
it's
it's
called?
components / article / article,
Oh, yeah.
something like that.
Yeah, I think so. Because it's different levels. Is that still not happy?
You might have to do capital article, the last one, or article JS or
Oh.
something.
Yeah, because of just capital. Goodness. Cool.
Oh, I think you have to go up a level.
We're in pages.
So go up a
Yeah.
level from, yeah. That should work.
So what is this saying?
Oh, the article page is it's trying to display props and it's not.
It never got them.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we can chase that down. However, we are getting an article. This is probably number 17. We can look at number 1, which we've seen a few times. That looks like what I'd expect. That guy. Man, this is kind of the pain of not being able to look at our data now. Cool. So we're at least pulling in articles now. I believe that's the article we're wanting. So let's see, what are we gonna do now? Yeah, so let's populate article with probably a spread operator like we talked about. But we'll actually need to get this article first. Oh, no, we are getting it. Shoot, is that all I need to do? Let's go back to the home page and start making it mad. This article not built out. Stop props. It should be getting props.
We're not passing in props into the function on line 3.
How about that?
And we can get rid of this on line 5.
Make sure. Oh, that's not a necessary thing. Oh, hey, look at that. Wow, that fixed itself quick. Cool. That kind of, yeah. Does everyone understand that what happened there? It kind of snapped together really fast. Just as a reminder, we're getting the article ID from the parameters. We are setting a new article based off of whatever's in the news and its index. So we're just pulling it out of the news JSON object using the index, which is derived from the parameters. And we're slapping all of the data from that article into the article component, which was already set up for us. I didn't touch any of this stuff. And it's kind of just populating out what it wants, and it looks good.
I think the image isn't showing up on some of them.
Yeah, I don't think they all have images. Maybe we're not getting the image at all then, huh? Why is that?
It needs an alt prop.
It needs an alt prop. Let's have an alt.
Your warning down line 11:16 image elements must have an alt prop either with meaningful text or an empty string for decorative images.
Did you say null? What is this? What does this have to be? I forget what you have to pass these things.
Yeah, it has to be a string. Just like,
Yeah.
I just put like hello, yeah. And we can also console log props on line 3 just to see what actually is being passed in.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'm interested to. What do you think that would prevent me from seeing what I want to see?
So it looks like the data
I don't
changed.
see an image. Yeah, the data did change, huh?
Multimedia, maybe.
URLs inside multimedia and then image. And you have to get the first element of multimedia.
I'm sorry, what did you, oh, okay. Wow, interesting. So it'll be multimedia 0 and then URL, huh?
Yep.
Aw.
Let's just pass in multimedia or. Yeah, let's just do instead of the 0.url on line 6, just get multimedia. And get rid of that URL, just
Happy.
maybe.
Oh, hey, look at that. It just works itself out. Okay. We have images. If I can find one that doesn't have an image, we'll see the hello maybe, but. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. Cool. That's
Was
That's-
that change to multimedia an expected change? Or is that right there where on the end? Oh, you're scrolling.
oh, I'm
It,
sorry.
it kind of just forces you to make sure you have to like don't assume that the data you passed in won't change.
Okay.
Essentially, that JSON file changed between new site 1 and new site 2. But it's,
Oh, no.
Okay.
but it's going to change. But it's going to change back, and if you do a hard refresh on the README, it might. Yeah. So it says note someone changed the data structure, etc.
I got you. Yep. Well, that's why you read your readmes, I guess. Cool. I guess we can also tackle this. Does anyone have any ideas for how we would prevent this? Because right now you can go. I mean, there's a lot of bugs in this. This isn't an amazing website or anything, but how can we prevent this? Any ideas? I've got one. We could redirect, we could make what's displayed not, reality. I think we'll go with what's displayed is not reality, maybe. I think. Is that the way to do this?
Does anybody have any ideas? Where were we extracting that ID from the URL?
Guess we could always,
Add some logic there.
yeah, I mean, I think we could honestly get away with, I'm trying to think about it. There's too many, flip flops before, I guess, back and forth to get us to that URL. So the ID is going to be equivalent to, no, it's 1 plus the index. Yeah, I'm drawing a blank.
So between lines 8 and 9,
Yeah,
we can do like if ID or if article ID equals 0
yeah, that's a good way to do it.
and is greater than the length of news minus 1. So if it doesn't, so it can't go outside of that. So we just use an if statement. If article ID is less than 1 and the double ampersand, article ID is greater than news dot length minus 1.
Oh, how does that work in JavaScript? Is it?
Dot length minus 1. And then all that has to be wrapped in we can do whatever we want here. We can like press enter. Then we could just return an empty div, or we can even import use navigate and navigate to the home page, or navigate to a custom component that says like 404 not found or something if we want.
Yeah.
Or we can just set article ID to 1 or whatever we want.
Yeah, I think,
But that would go inside of oh.
Oh wait, am I doing this right? No, I'm not doing that right. We could just send them back to 1 each time. I don't know. That's another way to do it. I don't know.
I mean, yeah, you could definitely do that as well.
Whatever, but yeah, we'll just say easy peasy. That should do it. Oh. Maybe I like your idea better.
I usually would like navigate to the home page or something.
I see.
So we'd have to import use navigate and all that fun stuff.
But oh no, this is the wrong spot.
No, that's
No,
right.
What happened to this?
You just
Oh.
you can just like navigate to hard code it to 1 if you want,
Yeah.
or
Yeah,
just
we'll just-
navigate to the
Yeah,
home
we'll just
page.
go to the main page. That'll be fine.
Yeah. And you'd have to return as well. Probably try to return to navigate. Why isn't that working?
What is that returning if it's not in a function? Because it's just an if statement.
Yeah, probably. Well, I'm technically in a function. I am in a function.
Yeah.
I'm in this function.
What oh,
Okay.
what's the error? What does it say?
Cannot read properties of undefined, reading 0. Where's this, Brad? This is an article.
Is that back to dealing with the multimedia?
I think it's,
Oh, never mind.
I think it's that article is still being passed. Yeah, it's like,
Well, worst things we can do, the thing we can do is just return a div that says something.
yeah, I think it's like chicken and the egg kind of thing. I think article's trying to get it before this is trying to kick it back.
Why isn't it doing it?
Yeah, I think it's because article is being passed. I think, man, I don't know. Well, oh, is this logic would have to be bad for it to be getting this far.
That be or instead of and.
And article ID is greater than.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Let's just,
Well,
can we just do this?
No,
Is there any harm just doing that?
just change that or the and to the double pipe. There we go.
There we go. Goodness.
But that's where we'd have to use the navigate because the URL still stays the same. So just return navigate to the home page. So that div just return navigate on line 13 like we had before. That should work. So if you come back here, there we go. That's better logic.
That's a little bit cleaner. Well.
What the fuck? That's lame.
Um, I challenge you all to come up with a better solution.
Ideally, you would render a 404 page with a link that says go back or link that says take me home.
Okay. Next bits are styling with Bootstrap and refactoring and functional components, which kind of was doing as we went. It's good to be able to read class-based, but I don't know. You'll run into it depending on where you go, but ideally no new stuff is going to be written in class. And styling, which I'm not going to dig into with you guys. That's where I'm going to call it. Does anyone have any questions or comments or concerns or complaints or anything?